This is the PCSRA Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. We now interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the Motorsports Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast, descriptions, or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the Motorsports Association is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the 2022 installment of Triple P. We're glad to welcome you back to another season of Triple P on YouTube as the chase for the Triple P titles begin. Welcome to the Blue Hedgehog TV's coverage of Triple P. We're hoping to see you each and every week of Triple P action on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Newcastle Casino Chickasaw, Love's Travel Stops, Subway, by the Oklahoma, Buffalo Wild Wings, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, and Sonic Drive-Ins. Now, in its sixth season, with the call of today's Triple P show in 2022 from Yukon, Oklahoma, the voice of Triple P, Daniel Voiles. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment of Triple P here on the Blue Hedgehog TV. We're excited to have you all with us for another edition as we're getting ready to see, if you know what I mean, here on this channel. We're getting ready to have this show. There won't be any panelists because of the fact that I got work coming up around 5 o'clock, so there is no panelist for this week's episode of Triple P, but I know people in the comments will be disappointed, but it is what it is. Got a lot of recapping to do for you all and give you my inside analysis and all that, so I'll try to have a show next week. Speaking of next week, we do not know, we don't have any new information on whether or not I will be moving out of Yukon to another house or what, but we will have to wait and see what will happen, so. As I took a drink of the proud sponsor of Chase Elliott. All right, let's start with the truck series from Bristol Dirt. That was right around the April holiday. First spin, Andrew Gordon driving the 49, spun off turn number 4. Ben Rhodes swept the first two stages. In between stage 1 and stage 2, Chris Wright spun off of turn number 2. And then Austin Wayne Self, Matt DiBenedetto got stuck together after they made contact, which took a almost 6 minute red flag to get those two trucks apart. Then Keith McGee had an incident off turn number 2. Then sorry about that. My controller decided to be stupid on me again. Okay. Then the 18 of Chandler Smith and the 98 of Christian Eckes had an incident off turn number 2. Then Derek Krause, the 51 of Buddy Ford, the 66 of Ty Majeski had an incident off turn number 2, and then they wrecked at the checkers and all that, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the day, Ben Rhodes ended up sweeping all 3 stages and won the truck race at Bristol Dirt. The top 10 results for the truck race: Ben Rhodes, the winner; Carson Hocevar, second; John Hunter Nemechek, third; Parker Kligerman, fourth; Christian Eckes, fifth; Joey Logano, sixth; Chase Elliott, seventh; Grant Enfinger, eighth; Matt Crafton, ninth; Zane Smith completed the top 10. Moving over to the Cup race that was on the April holiday that I'm not going to say. Competition yellow because everybody had mud all over their grills, so they had to clean it. Chase Briscoe spun off turn number 2. Then Justin Allgaier had crashed in turn number 3, which ended stage 1. That was won by Kyle Larson.
Then Alex Bowman spun off turn number 4. Then Kevin Harvick, the 7 of Corey LaJoie, the 16 that was driven by Noah Gragson, and the 48 of Alex Bowman had their incident on the back straightaway. Then Austin Dillon and Brad Keselowski had their incident off turn number 2. Then we had debris on the back straightaway. Then Corey LaJoie, Harrison Burton, and Bubba Wallace had the incident on the back straightaway. Stage 2 was won by Chase Briscoe, which they had a little rain delay in between Stage 2 and Stage 3. Chase Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daniel Suarez, and Cody Ware had an incident in turn 3. Cody Ware was at fault for running into Chase Elliott, which he is an idiot. Then Eric Jones had an incident off turn number 2. Then the 38 of Todd Gilliland spun off of turn number 2. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did as well off turn number 2. Then Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, and Eric Almirola had an incident in turn 1, which brought out a 17-minute red flag. And at the end of the day, Kyle Busch passed Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe on the last lap and won the dirt race at Bristol, which I gave it a 3.7. So the top 10 results for the Cup race: Kyle Busch won, Tyler Reddick second, Joey Logano third, Kyle Larson fourth, Ryan Blaney fifth, Alex Bowman sixth, Christopher Bell 7th, Chase Elliott 8th, Michael McDowell 9th, and Ty Dillon complete top 10. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and get all the other races out as far as recapping is concerned. We had, actually, while I'm thinking about it, okay, let me get motorsports.com up, and I'll get the results for you all. Okay, I already got BTC. Let's do Formula 3, and then I'll back up and all that. So, yeah. We had Imola, I'm going to look at the predictions before I make a statement. Let me see, we had Imola. Do not help me, I can find it. Okay, here it is. I got to get Moto 3, Moto 2, and Moto GP. All right, let's do that right now. Then we'll start all that yada yada yada. So anyway, let's find my Moto stuff. Hope everybody's having a good start to their morning here. Oh, here it is. Found it. All right, the top 10 results for Moto 3 were Sergio Garcia, the winner. Is this Moto 3? I want to make sure. Yeah, it's Moto 3. Okay. Garcia, the winner. Jaime Mesa, second. Third was Ayumi Sasaki. Fourth, Denis Onsu. Fifth, Eisen Guevara. Sixth was Carlos Tatale. Seventh, Andrea Migno. Eighth was second in points, Dennis Forgia. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I do apologize if I butcher it. Joel Kelso finished in 9th, and the top 10 was completed by Diogo Mortaria of Brazil. For Moto 2, their top 10 results from that race. Joe Roberts ended up getting his first win. Congratulations. Celestino Vitili got second. Third was Jorg Navarro. Fourth was Marcel Schroeter. Rounding out the top 5 was Manuel Gonzalez of Spain. Sixth was Jeremy Akaboa. Seventh was Fernan Adijuaya. I don't know how to freaking pronounce these names. Bo Benenschneider got 8th. 9th was Barry Baltus of Belgium. And completing the top 10 was Gabriel Rodrigo of Argentina. For MotoGP, for their top 10 results, Fabio Quartararo got the win. Second, Joan Zarco. Third, Alexius Espargaro. Fourth was Alex Rins. Fifth was Miguel Oliveira of Portugal in his home race. Sixth was Marc Marquez. Seventh was Alex Marquez, so the Marquez brothers did well. 8th was Francisco Bagnadia. 9th was Paul Esparago. And completing the top 10 was Maverick Vinales. Now, top 10 results for Formula 3 for their races, and then F2, and then F1, and then we'll get to Talladega. So the top 10 results for the F3 race for race 1. Franco Colapino 1, Victor Martin 2nd, Jack Crawford 3rd, Roman Stachnik 4th, Isaac Hadjar 5th, Zane Maloney 6th, Oliver Rasmussen 7th, Kalen Frederick 8th, Alexander Zimbler 9th, and Rafael Villagomez of Mexico complete the top 10. The top 10 results in race number 2. Roman Stachnik win, Jack Crawford 2nd, Isaac Adjar 3rd, Oliver Behrman 4th, Arthur Leclerc 5th, Kushik Mani 6th, 7th, Zach O'Sullivan, Kalen Frederick 8th, David Valadez 9th, and Ido Cohen completed the top 10. The top 10 results for Moto 2. As we get to their results, and then we'll get to the F1 recap. I'll tell you how it went down the sprint race. Sprint race was interesting. So, yeah. All right, the top 10 results in race number 1 rather, in F2. I better pull this up so that way I have this ready to go. Top 10 results for F2, race number 1. Marcus Armstrong, the winner. Gene Harndorf, 2nd. Dennis Hager, 3rd. Roy Nassani, 4th. Felipe Drugovich, 5th. Logan Sargent, 6th. Theo Pachari, 7th. Liam Lawson, 8th. Ayumi Ashawa 9th, and Frederick Vesti completed the top 10. For race number 2, if it loads, okay, there we go. Race number 2, Theo Pachari got the victory, Enzo Fittipaldi 2nd, Ralph Bachung 3rd, Clement Novalak 4th, Ayumi Ashawa 5th, Frederick Vesti 6th, Logan Sargent 7th, David Beckham 8th, Gene Harndevila 9th, and Felipe Drugovich completed the top 10. Then we go to the F1 race. Hi, Sean. Then we go to the F1 race for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. From Saturday, if I can get the results up. And just a little disclaimer, I'm doing the show solo because I don't want... because if you missed what I said, you can probably rewind the stream. But anyway, going to the F1 race, starting with the qualifier, the qualifying sprint. Guan Yu Zhou had an issue with his car on his machine. Okay, that's qualifying. Do they not have the results? Okay. On his car, which was really sad. So he had to start the back. It was pretty much a tale of yada yada yada. And Charles and Guan Yu Zhou had trouble with his car and all that yada yada. So the sprint results from F1, and then we'll get to the main F1 race. Max Verstappen won, which he started on the pole for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then it was Charles Leclerc in 2nd, Sergio Perez 3rd, Carlos Sainz 4th, Lando Norris 5th, Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Valtteri Bottas 7th, Kevin Magnussen 8th, Fernando Alonso 9th, Mick Schumacher in 10th. When we got to the real race, however, Carlos Sainz brought out a safety car, beached his car after spinning in the Tamburello chicane. His day was done, brought out a safety car. Fernando Alonso had bodywork come off the car. On the right side, his race was done. And that was pretty much about it as far as that was concerned, and Max Verstappen ended up winning the race. So the top 10 results for F1, Max Verstappen, the winner, Sergio Perez 2nd, made it Red Bull 1-2. Lando Norris 3rd, George Russell 4th, Valtteri Bottas 5th, Charles Leclerc 6th, Yuki Tsunoda 7th, Sebastian Vettel 8th, Kevin Magnussen 9th, and Lance Stroll complete the top 10. Now, let's talk about Talladega. I bet everybody's curious how Talladega went. Starting with the Xfinity Series race for their running of the AG Pro 300. I did watch. Yay, probably the only race I'm going to be watching. First incident, the 44 of Ryan Ellis spun off turn number 2, which he had a flat tire. Stage 1 was the rest of Stage 1 common clean. That was won by Josh Berry. Then we had our first multi-incident with Josh Berry, who got involved with Mason Massey, the 66 of J.J. Yaley, the 26 of Chandler Smith making his Xfinity debut, Brett Moffitt, and the 44 of Ryan Ellis for the second time. All those drivers involved. Berry continued on. Everybody else dropped out in that incident. Then we had a debris caution after that. Then Elijah's favorite driver, Ty Gibbs, got involved with Brandon Jones, David Starr, Daniel Hemrick, defending champion, and the 44 of Ellis. They were done for the day as far as that's concerned. Then Matt Mills cut a right front tire down in turn number 1 after slamming the wall. Then Myatt Snyder, Brandon Jones, the 18 of Drew Dollar, Joe Graff Jr., Brandon Brown, the 48 of Kaz Gralla making his first start of the year, and the 6 of Ryan Vargas had an incident turn 1. Then Austin Hill and Sam Mayer crashed on the back straightaway. Then Sheldon Creed and the 45 of Cesar Baccarellia had their incident in turn number 3. Then Jeremy Clements had fuel problems with his car on his 51. Then fuel pressure issues for Justin Holgar on the last restart. And Noah Gragson ended up going to victory lane, his first win of the season. So the top 10 results for the Xfinity race. Noah Gragson, the winner. Jeffrey Earnhardt, second. A.J. Allmendinger, third. Ryan Sieg, fourth. Landon Castle, fifth. Anthony Alfredo, sixth. Riley Herbst, seventh. Joe Graff Jr., eighth. Mike Snyder, ninth. And Brett Moffitt complete the top 10. Then we go to the Cup Series race for the Geico 500. The race was really fun, if you ask me. First incident, before that, Tyler Reddick broke something in the drive component, which his engine went kaboom. His race was over. Coming to the end of stage number 1, Daniel Hemrick's engine started to give up, loses control of his car in turns 3 and 4. He collected Chase Briscoe and Chris Buescher, which also ended stage 1. Bubba Wallace won stage 1 in the process. Greg Biffle had a mechanical problem, which was a fuel pump broke on his car in turn 4. He was done for the day. Then BJ McLeod lost a left rear tire, which is going to result a 4-race suspension for him, his crew, and all that. Then we had the big one. Contact between Bubba Wallace and Joey Logano sent Logano in the wall, collected Austin Cindric, Daniel Hemrick, the 42 of Ty Dillon, Kyle Busch, Harrison Burton, Todd Gillen, Cole Custer, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Most of them continued on. Some of them did not continue on. Then the 51 of Cody Ware spun in turn number 1. His day was done. Rest of stage 2 was clean. That was won by William Byron. Nothing happened in stage 3, and Ross Chastain won, where the 2311 boys of Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch crashed, coming to the checker flag. Let me just make sure you guys can still hear me in the deal, if you know what I mean. Yay. Okay, you guys can still hear me. Sweet. So the top 10 results for the Cup race. Ross Chastain, the winner. Austin Dillon, second. Kyle Busch, third. Kyle Larson, fourth. Martin Truex Jr., fifth. Eric Jones, sixth. Chase Elliott, seventh. Michael McDowell, eighth. Alex Bowman, ninth. And Kevin Harvick complete the top 10. So there we go. Thoughts? Talladega was typical Talladega, if you ask me. I'm just going to tell you that, and we'll just go from there. So, let's see here. Nothing in the top story news other than the 78 crew I know will be getting a 4-race suspension, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Doesn't look like we have anything from NASCAR. The people that tried to boycott the Miami Grand Prix for next weekend, that fell apart real quickly. Miami GP going on as planned. Dang. Now I do want to discuss a topic that I really want to discuss for quite some time. What has happened to Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes? I don't know